Hi, we are back in the control room. We're in the back of the control room actually. And now we're going to go out of door number 4. And door number 4 in the back of the control room goes into the foyer. I wouldn't call it a lobby. It's just, you know, kind of where all the other stuff goes. And this room here is the break room. And we've come through the break room before. But now we've got some things laid out and we're going to show some things, okay? And these are my old photo albums. And I'm going to show a couple of pictures in here. This is this is my first studio right here. This is the one that burned down. And you can see me, I'm about 20, 21 years old there or so. And this is all the equipment I had. I had 3 mixing consoles, and this was my main recorder. This was my mix down unit here. And it was very versatile back in the early 80s. I could really track a lot of people and a lot of different groups. And coincidentally, when I put my photo albums here in this room, just left them, many of the people started looking at them, and others were identifying some of the people that were in there. And I thought that was pretty cool. And so, as it was, I still record a lot of these same people. And here's just some different bands that I was mixing live, and things right here. And on the back here, I got some of my old baby pictures of me and my mom and dad. There's some old pictures there. That's a sunset in Michigan that I think. So anyway, I'm going to show some more here. This was my microphone collection back then. I don't know how good it's going to come through, but me and this fella here, it looks like a girl here, but if you notice there is a mustache there. And we used to make these microphones, and we forgot what we did to make them so really killer. And now we are trying to reinvent them so that we can use them here in the studio. But we don't know what we did. We've forgotten. It's been so long ago. And I've got several of these books. They're just books that have all these artifacts in them, and just hundreds and hundreds of artifacts that I've got pictures of laying around here. I think I've got 3 albums of artifacts here, and I've got like 2 or 3 more out in the back. And here's after I moved to Florida, and this picture here actually has a snake wrapped around in my hair. I used to go places with snakes in my hair. They loved it. And I had this big bushy head of hair, and people see a snake coming out of it. And right here, this is just a classic set of pictures that a friend of mine took from Florida of the shuttle when it blew up. He's got the whole sequential pattern here of it going up. And this is only one balcony over from where I used to live. So, and then kablooey, kaboom. And I've just got tons and tons of pictures. Like I say, my old friends, and I still record with these guys. They come in, oh wow, I know you from way back when. And I even have old friends here. This is another one that's got some old friends about when I moved to Florida. Look at that one. Home in on that one right there. Right here's another one. There. Old friends. And I'm going to finish here on this table. There's a couple of my maps here, and I just leave them out here. Some people are interested in reading what they say, and some of them aren't. They are covered with Latin text on the back of them. Just right here, just flip it right quick like that. And all this Latin is translated on these sheets here in these frames so that people can see what they say. And this is 1600 Terra Australis, Matthias Quadus. And this brother to it or sister to it, whatever you want to call it, is this one over here. The Arctic Pole region, and that is a 1608, I believe. And so now let's see what we got on this table here. All right, let's start right over here. And this right here is a map of Iceland. It's also Matthias Quadus. I loved his stuff. Thought his maps are just absolutely beautiful. It's got all these big, nice creatures down here. looks like a horse with fins on it, because back in the 1600s, people, they didn't realize, they didn't know what whales looked like. Unless they washed along the shore. Whaling actually didn't come into vogue until like the mid or early 1800s, when they actually had ships that could actually go after them. There's like a dog or an antelope or something skipping across the water. There's just all kinds of beautiful stuff there. There's like a sturgeon or something up there. What is he? And that's 1600. I've got it for sale. And this right here is a really nice map too. This is a Cornelius Whitley from 1597. Neither one of these two maps made it into the map video because I got them after I actually cut the video. And it has Friesland on it. Of course, now I'm a Friesland collector, and the capital of Friesland was Bondendia. So if you ever heard anybody talk about Bondendia, that's exactly what they were talking about. And here's some more paper right here. This is the oldest map in the world of Atlantis. It dates back to 1663. It's an Athanasius Kircher. And there's a lot of books that have this map of Atlantis in there, but none of them tell what the pages that come with it actually say, which is unusual to me because what it says about Atlantis is absolutely far more interesting than the map itself. And these two books here, this is a very rare set of books. They date back to 1704, and it's the travels, Voyage Around the World with Gemelli Carreri. I'm going to show you on the title page. See right here, 1704, right down here. Collection of voyages and travels, and it's very good writing. I'm going to show you a couple of things in here, and this is coming up on New Spain, and which was Mexico. And here are some really nice pictures of the early Mexicans. You can get a shot of that. Like I say, it's 1704, and these are some of the oldest known pictures on the planet of these people. And here. And he writes about China, he writes about Hindustan, he draws pictures, or his artists do. And here you can see how they made a clever little mine, the ancient Mexicans. And here's some more of the ancient Mexicans. And he writes about Sri Lanka or Ceylon, and all kinds of neat places. And here is something very special. You hear all the time about the Mayan calendar. And right here, we have the oldest known Mexican map. The oldest one known in the world. From 1704. Now what you'll notice as far as the Mayan calendar goes, this don't look nothing like them. And the Mayan calendar, what people hold the Mayan prophecy, there never were any Mayans. There never was any Mayan prophecy. They were all just called Yucatanis. And now when you hear about somebody giving some kind of speech or talking about the Mayan calendar, it's actually truly an Aztec calendar. And these were two completely distinct different people. The Yucatans and the Mexican Nuados. And here is another really fascinating piece of. Now, and all through here he talks about to the reader, and I get a lot of that in my books when I put to the readers, because many of the books that I've read that were from several hundred years old, they always wrote to the reader. They always wrote to the reader, and because they wanted your interest, they wanted you to know. Okay, and right here is Greenland. This is taken from an old Samuel Purkis, but it's excellent condition, and it has some fascinating stories in it about how these men got stranded on ice, and their ship drifted on away from them. And it's just stories of peril and man against nature. You can see there's leather flying everywhere here. But those are over 308, 304 years old or so. And here is something that our cameraman liked, and this is why I guess why we're doing this room here is because Trip laid out a lot of this. He said, "What show that?" Okay, so this is the Lazeria Ancient Coin Collection,
And as you know, I used to collect coins. Well, I still do, I guess you could say. Have a slew of them here. And these are old Greek coins. I need to do some repair on the book. 400 to 500 BC. This is a drachma from 600 BC. Agamemnon's, Greek. Philip II, that was Alexander's father. This is Alexander the Great here, and here. This is Ptolemy here. That was the half-brother of Alexander. And Seleucus, Antiochus. And here's some more Antiochus coins. And there's some old Egyptian mints of Ptolemy III, Antiochus VII, Demetrius. And going on around here, if I can, this old book, the Persian Empire, 550 to 330 BC. And I wanted to have a coin from every Persian king, but they were just impossible. I couldn't afford them at the time. There's King Darius. I don't have, there's a Cyrus the Younger, but I don't have a Cyrus the First. And King Xerxes, Artaxerxes. And down here along the bottom these are Phoenician coins from everywhere from 400 BC all the way up to like 100 BC. And then I have the Roman Republic coins, 225 BC to 48 BC, but I don't have any of the older Roman coins. I start with Julius Caesar, and here's Mark Antony, Cleopatra. I lumped her into the Roman Republic because she was hanging with Julius Caesar. And there's Augustus, Herod, a couple of Herod coins, Pilate, Pontius Pilate, Agrippa, Syrian coins, okay, and this is the Roman Empire, and this starts at like 225, so there's no, different Domitian here, 81 AD, 70 Titus here, Servius Alexander, Maximus, Salonia, Commodus, Hadrian, and I was just really into it. Oh, I guess I still am. I'm a history buff. Come on, let's just go through here. Tacitus from 275 AD. And here we get to Constantine. I got a bunch of Constantine coins because I knew a Syrian that had a bunch of them for sale way back when. So I got a bunch of Constans the First, Constantines. And a lot of these are in really good shape. There's a bunch more of them here. Just going to cruise through here. Diocletian, Valentinian, Theodosius, on and on. And then the Byzantine Empire starts about 395 AD. And got several of them here. These are all really colored up patina, pretty old. And I got two here that show Christ holding the Gospels. And these aren't true portraits of Christ. These come out like 900, 1000 AD. All right, so it's not like, I'm gonna move this over here. It's not like these people actually knew what Christ looked like at any rate. Okay, and then this is all occupation money, military bonds and stuff like that, military payment certificate. And when I sold off my currency collection, but I kept what I could not replace. Any of the other stuff I had, I could easily replace, or not easily replace, but you could actually buy it at at coin shows and whatever. And but these are just absolutely gorgeous. Some of them. These are from World War II. Okay. I'm just going to flip through them here. And here's a special note down there. It's the Saddam Hussein note. Okay? And it's beautiful, beautiful currency, isn't it? That's a lot prettier than American money. And here we start getting into Russian money from like the 30s and 40s and 50s and whatever. And Russian money is the most beautiful stuff there is. I mean, it's just gorgeous, the old Russian money. And I believe it was all printed up in up in Philadelphia where everybody else's money was printed. There's some more stuff there. And here's some more. I guess that's American money. You can see on the back of them, for some of the stuff that they did for the military men, they put this hot babe on the back of them. You got a fictitious babe, goddess Diana, whatever. And here's some more of the beautiful Russian money here. Got linen. And I've got some Swiss bond. I think that right there is an old Russian barn of some description. I don't have any idea what it's worth. These are coupons, currency coupons. I've got several of those. And then these are all coinage. I also had all kinds of notes for coins, cents, and stuff like that, which I sold. I sold all that. And this is Japanese government. This is Japanese occupation money here. There's some old German money, old Swiss francs. And just going to flip through some of them here. Japanese occupation money. And there's a big one there. Japanese government. Yeah, the Japanese government. Japanese government didn't have anything to do with it. It was Americans flooding their markets with cheap bucks. Okay, there's another. It looks like a Swiss bond or an old German bond. And then I've got some money from the Middle East. I don't know what any of these are worth today. I just used to buy them when I could. When I saw them and I liked the colors on them, that's what I would get. And then here's some more Japanese occupation money here from World War II. Here's another set of them here. And anyway, that's what's left over of my ancient coin and currency collection from many years ago. Now, let's show this right here. I'm gonna walk around here. And this is my arrowhead collection. I still hang on to it. I still travel with it every now and then. It looks like an old Teff hair. And a lot of these I found, a lot of them my father found, and several of them here I bought because I knew I would never ever find one in a million years. I just don't have the time to dig for them. But I bought several of them. It's a nice collection. Maybe I can get the glare of the light off of it. Is that going pretty good? And let's see. Here's an artifact from the tomb in Illinois. This is what we call the Bantus River Stone. It's got writing on this side, and it shows the map on the other side. Boom. See little sailboats out there in the ocean. It's covered with script. And here are some more artifacts. I'm going to show these coins. All right. And these coins are special. They're not with the ancient coin collection. I keep them completely separated because this is a King Archelaus here. This was Alexander the Great's grandfather. 375 BC or so. That was found in Maine, buried 8 feet deep in the earth, when a big, huge northern oak tree was pulled up. The stump was pulled up due to a storm or whatever, and that coin just pulled right up out of the bottom. And this right here, if you can see real close, is a Helios coin. This came from the tomb in Illinois. These two are one-of-a-kind coins. Gosh knows what they're worth, really. They are for sale, but you can see Helios there. And on the back of them here, this one has a horse and rider, and this other one has some kind of denomination, probably telling about the coin or something like that. And here we have some more artifacts. This is a baby Eve. It looks so wrapped up, enclosed, little alien creature, just so cuddly. And this is a beautiful jeweled, what we call a full groove double point, and it came from Illinois also. Beautiful piece, shiny. And here's a beautiful little axe head here. It's got this design here. And now I'm going to turn it like this for this design. And then I'm going to flip it over. You see how this design here takes its shape. And then you flip it over like this. It looks like Batman or something, doesn't it? And ancient artists, they could only carve whatever it was that they saw. They didn't make up things like science fiction or anything like that. When they saw something, then they could relate a picture with it. And that's what makes a couple of these next two that I'm going to show you from Illinois very special, because they are of creatures that you don't ordinarily see. Okay? Like this guy here. It's like an alligator head, and he's got the same kind of shirt on as I got. But the alligator man himself is lifted out of the stone. He's cut in relief. In other words, it's the part around the design in the center that is lifted out. It's cut around. All the carving is off to the side. This right here is what is left alone. And that's pretty unusual. And so how did this guy see him? And the same thing with this guy here. I've got authentication papers on all these. And this is an ancient sea creature. It's a plesiosaur, which was similar to the plesiosaur, but the plesiosaur only had 2 fins on the front. The plesiosaur has 4 fins. And he's got this beautiful long tail, and his head is arched here, and it bends back over. And you can tell that he's just looking. This is some kind of sea creature that is just absolutely beautiful. And how in the world did these people see this guy unless they were in the water with him? How would they get the idea to even paint or inscribe that animal? All right, right here is a Roman soldier. He's got a lot of script up here in the corner, and it was deciphered maybe 10 or 15 years ago, but I don't remember what he says. I don't think we even wrote it down. That's a good stone. And so is this one. This is an Egyptian priest holding an ankh in his right hand and a cobra in his left hand. It's pretty neat, pretty unusual. And it's just a beautifully crafted stone. I've got authentication papers on it. There are no modern tool marks on it at all. And you can see it's pretty well done. Very, very well executed stone. It even stands up on its own. And there's not a lot of stones from this tomb that actually stand up by themselves. And right here, this is the peekaboo rock. He's calcite, honey calcite. And what it is, I don't know if you can tell very much in the camera, but it's like a woodland Indian. It's got little feathers up here. And it's holding this post or this rod up in front of his face, and there's a hole where his eye is. And the Native American medicine man that I showed it to, I asked him, if he could give me any insight on it. He says, well, what that is that rod, that staff, is the future. And what he's doing is he's looking at the future. And the whole deal is that he is looking at you through the future, so that anybody that sees this can tell that he is looking at them. And it's quite symbolic. Now this piece of honey calcite is pretty unusual in so much as that it's flat. This stuff just doesn't occur. And this is a stone that's native to southern Illinois. And why is this side so flat and the other side of it so corrugated and rough? And it's not got any modern machine marks on it at all. And I figured, well, somebody that knows calcites in southern Illinois, Kentucky, they can help me find where this stone came from. So I took it to the Florence Bar Calcite Museum in Marion, Kentucky. And I was going to ask the guy about it. And when I brought it out, he goes, oh my gosh, that's the biggest piece of calcite I've ever seen. And I'm like, huh? He goes, oh man, he goes, and that's honey calcite. That's so rare. Never seen anything like it, never seen. And I showed him, the inscription and everything. He goes, man, there's no way that anyone would have ever carved this like this or sold this stone. That nobody who knows anything about calcite would have sold the stone, because the piece itself of just the rock is so unusual. And so what he was explaining to me is that this style of honey calcite is only found down in the ground. You have to actually mine it and bring it up from the depths of the earth. And so how did these people 2,000 years ago find these ancient fluorspar mines in southern Illinois and northern Kentucky along the Ohio River and actually come up with this? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So anyway, that is going to conclude the break room. I don't think there's anything else in here to show. If there was, we'd have probably put it out for you. So anyway, now we're going to wind down, and we've got one more segment to shoot and to show, and that's what we're going to do now. We're going to go back to the control room. Okay, Jim, we're back in the control room, and it's winding down now, and we've got one room left to show. And it was Tripp's idea to do this room last because it's kind of special in a way, and it's a little different. And to get there, we've got to go out door number 2. We're going to go into the airlock. Now, you've seen the airlock kind of before. We're going to go, let's go. And this is the area between the control room and the soundstage. And you will notice that there's these, I put these curtains up here. I built these curtains, and they're all double layered and they're real thick. And they're different colors and different backgrounds so that different bands can, you know, hang their sign up, take pictures or whatever. Some people want to be photographed here. And I've got a different one over here. And this is the load-in bay right here. And it's very easy load-in with this studio. The easiest load-in I've ever seen. And yeah, the bay goes up and you can pull in here even when it's raining, windy, whatever. There's no load-in problem ever. And this is the special piece that you've seen a couple of times probably in the video. And this is my rock cabinet. And I've studied this stuff all my life. My father got me into it and when I was a kid. And lo and behold, here she is. Okay, and you might notice that I love this stone here. And this is a serpentine rhyolite. All these pieces in here are what we call serpentine rhyolite. Comes from one spot in the Planty in Hidalgo County, New Mexico. You see, I've made this one into a hatchet head, and I've got other designs and stuff that I've carved. This is a big, beautiful piece here, and I've polished all these. This is God and Harry working in tandem. And like I say, I know where all these stones come from, where I bought them or where I found them, and so I'm not going to go into every single stone, but like I say, all the green ones here are all the serpentine rhyolite. And my next favorite mineral is fluorspar. Fluorspar, fluorite, fluoride, spar, they're all the same thing. And here's a beautiful piece here, and it's just fractured and layered. It's got all these pretty little colors down inside. It's just a great, great piece there. And here's some more stones down here. This is more of the fluorspar here, okay? And we're going to just move this way here. Now all these I found them at the old closed down fluorspar mines. These come from the Denton mine. These came from the Crystal mine. That came from the Annabelle tailings. And different things, that came from the Crystal mine. This came from the Annabelle mine. I bought that piece there. It's beautiful. That came from the Annabelle also. And I've got several pieces here from the Minerva mine. All these are famous mines. And moving across here, this is a beautiful blue piece here. And kind of remember where these are, because we're going to do some tricks with some of these stones here after a while. And here's a beautiful piece here. And this is actually how it's shaped. This is actually how God shapes it. And I don't know if the camera can pick up some of the colors in this guy, but he is just loaded with colors. Just beautiful colors in there like that. And this is chrysoprase from Australia. This is a big museum piece of the fluorspar, fluorite. Here, this is my biggest piece of it. Here's some more of it. This is calcite from Bolivia. And down here, I have all kinds of spinels, uncut stuff, amethyst, rubies, sapphires, there's peridot, aquamarines, emeralds, all kinds of little stuff bunched up. Now this little piece here is probably one of the most rare. It is called tugmapite, and it comes from Greenland. And the funny thing, the guy I got it from, he goes, "Oh man, I got a great big piece of it, man. Oh, it's huge. Oh man, it's a boulder." And I got it, and I was like, "Wow," you know, it wasn't very large at all to me. This is a foot of lapis that the authenticator in New Mexico, Santa Fe, gave me. This is a piece of sugilite from South Africa. I love this stuff. It's purple, beautiful dark purple. Sort of purple agate's what it is, and it's rare. And this is charoite here from Russia. This is sodalite from Brazil. Here's a nice piece here. This is a piece of labradorite from Canada. Labrador, I guess you could say. And it has an iridescence to it too. I don't know if the camera will pick any of that up. But it sure is pretty stuff, and it's tough too, tough to polish. So here's opal from Peru. This is chrysocolla up here from Arizona. And here's some more fluorspar. That's a stalagmite from a cave. Here's some more fluorspar. Here's another really nice piece of the chrysocolla. Blues and greens, all kinds of neat stuff there. There's a piece of calcite from Mexico. And back up in here in this corner, you'll see my geodes. All these here, and that one right there I've had since I was real young, 7 years old or whatever. This is azurite from Georgia. This is scheelite from Arizona. And right here is just a huge piece of lapis. The thing weighs about 1.5 pounds. And a piece of calcite here. And this one here's, kind of get a look at it the way it is there, because we're going to do some tricks with it, and we're going to see it different. And down underneath here is some rhodochrosite from South Africa. This stuff here is flying saucer debris from Missouri. It was a down ship in 1948. And these right here are some bullets, Civil War bullets that my dad found here in back here in America. And you see all these lights, they're real pretty to look at in the day. You'll notice I don't have any black stones, no dark brown stones. My darkest piece is this purple piece. And another thing about this rickolite here is I'm probably the only person east of the Mississippi that tools this stuff, because it's deadly poison while you're working with it. There's only a certain way that you can work with it, and it's why only a few people work with it, because it's loaded with asbestos. And there's a certain way that you have to grind it, otherwise you will die. And so it's not very popular, but once it's polished, it's inert. And as far as I know, I'm the only person east of the Mississippi that sells this stuff. And I go to the mines and I pick it out myself and bring it back east and sell it and polish it up. And now we're going to look at the lower shelf here. And we're going to look at some of these stones down here. And this is one of my specialties. And like I said, my father was into them also. And a lot of these are really just blasé looking. The only pieces of any true interest with the normal daylight eye are these two pieces of calcite here, and which are kind of pretty. But the rest of them are kind of blasé. They don't. They're like gray or dark or something like that. And what I got to do now is I got to get this light right here out, and I've got to kill some of these lights here. Let me kill this light here. All right. And then I gotta kill this light here. Right now, you know it's dark, and we're gonna turn on this light. We're gonna go up here in this corner here, and this is what these stones do. Look at them here, and they make different colors under high frequency UV. And that's what these are. This is a piece of Nurembergite over here in the corner. It looks like a little castle. It's just a beautiful, beautiful mineral specimen. And right next to it is a piece of autunite on petrified wood. And that's uranium coming through there. And all of these stones here, I'm going to go down. All of these stones here, this is Slater agate, and this is irradiated agates from Wyoming. Okay. And there's some more autunite down there. All this stuff is radioactive. These two orange pieces here, you would never want to put these in your pocket and run around with them all day. And then the green kryptonite piece looking thing down here, that is irradiated glass from West Virginia. Okay, and that's some dogtooth calcite. Moving on across here. Well, now we can see some of these stones here. Okay. And most of the stones on the lower bottom, the lowest tier, are stones that I got that are left over from my father's collection, which I saved his collection, but I've kind of bettered it a little bit. And so there's about 3 or 4 of these stones in here that I really don't know what they are, but the rest of them I know everything about them. I'm just going to go up here. There's some sandwich calcite on chalcedony there. Okay, and this right here is Christmas tree ore from Arizona. and it's got silver in it. The silver impurities are what make it do this. Okay, let's go back up some and show some more of these calcites and willamites here. Just beautiful colors that your eye normally does not see. There's a piece of hydrozincite. I picked that up from a mine near Las Vegas. We actually went down into the mine 1,000 feet below the ground and picked these rocks out, and I traded them all over the country. And it's quite harrowing because the first 250 feet you have to climb down on rickety old wooden ladders. There's a piece of calcite from Nebraska. Here's some more. Then I'm going to come back down. This right here is a real nice piece. This is agrolite from Canada, from Quebec. Then we want to come down here. We want to see some more of this Christmas tree stone. And here are some pieces of the Terra Lingua calcite. These two pieces here are from Texas. These two pieces here. And the piece next to it is from Chihuahua. It's also calcite. We're going to show you what these stones do. They glow. As a matter of fact, all of these, if you pull out a little bit, all of these glow. And this piece right here is purple passion calcite that I picked out. I found in Arizona. Look at that guy. Now I'm going to show off this piece from Chihuahua. I'm going to just put him on the, real careful, real slow. We'll put him on there like that. Let him charge. Boom. Still going. Okay. And then move across here. This is some calcite I found in Nevada, the Nevada desert. Okay, moving on across here, there's some Wickenburgite. There's some more hydrozincite on calcite. Here's another piece of the purple passion. Some more calcites, Wickenburgite. Here's chalcedony over here. These little green, they call them desert roses. They come from Arizona, near the Superstition Mountain, right on the eastern slopes of the Superstition. And down below it, there's a very rare piece of witherite from the Minerva mine. It's a really rare piece. And here's some willemite, this green stuff here. Can you pick that? Is that picking up? All these are willemite. And then we're going to move up. Let's go back right in along in here. And then we're going to move up. Now right there is a halite from the Searles Lake in California. And there's a big piece of tiger ore. And I invented the name of that because then I found out later they called it Halloween rock. That came from the Jim Dandy mine. Here's a real nice piece of the Franklinite. Move over this way. And we'll hold it on that guy there. There's another piece of ore. It's just gorgeous. Colors that just come out and jump at you. Okay, here, this is all Franklinite, willemite here. And they glow too. Not quite as much, but watch him, he'll glow orange for just a second. Okay, and this guy here's got glowing in him. Just hold it on him and kill the light. See that? Does that purple coming through there? If you can get a shot, it's just deep, rich purple. Boom. And then it glows. There's a piece of calcite glowing. Okay, now let's go back towards the center. All right, and then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the shield off. I'm going to pull the filter off of it. And I'm going to charge everybody up. Let me just give everybody a good charge here. Pull out a little bit. Boom. Man, that turns me on. Let me get this guy here. This guy here is just all over the place. And some of them will sustain their glow for several minutes. Some of them will sustain their glow for just a few seconds. But that guy there, he's just going nuts, isn't he? And sometimes certain rocks actually will glow better when they're warm. Okay, now I'm going to show you something that I discovered playing with my cat back in, I think, 2000 or 1999 or so. And I had this laser pointer, and what I did was I was chasing her around the room with it, and I put it on that rock right there. And look at what happened. It's I had a big name for it. It's refractivity, laser refractivity or something or another of the stones. And you put it on there and the stone just glows inside and shoots the beam out all over the place through the fractures. We're going to move this way and we'll catch some more of the other stones. There's one there. The fluorspars and the scheelite and some of the calcites will glow. Let's keep going over this way. There's that blue piece, that real beautiful blue piece. And right next to it is that triangular piece, this guy here. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, now we're going to move over here. We're going to show there's another piece of fluorite there. There's one there. A real nice piece there. And then we're going to put it on that piece of calcite right there. So we're going to change the colors of some of these. And we're moving across. There's that big diamond there. Big fluorspar diamond. The camera's probably not going to pick it up, but the lights are dancing inside the cabinet. There's another piece. And here is a real special piece, this piece of scheelite. And then we're going to come back across towards the middle. We'll go down here. There's that piece there again. We're going to show it on some of these fluorspars and some of the, look at the citrines. Look how that citrine and the amethyst there just blows it all over the place. Cool. Now let's move across. There's that piece of topaz right there. Some of these rocks right here, these smaller ones, all kinds of little gems that I used in my science projects when I was a kid. We're going to come out this way still. Show something here. Check these guys out. Look at that. And there's fluorspars. Just going to do a little circle there. Here's some right here that are pretty neat. Go back up a little bit. Anyway, to my knowledge, I discovered this before anybody else did. And I saw a thing on YouTube where they were actually doing it. Now, if you remember, the lights up, the stones up on the top shelf look real pretty in the daylight. And my quest was to find stones that were fluorescent and phosphorescent that were also pretty in the daylight. I tried tooling them, I've tried grinding them, tried many different things. So now we're going to see some of the stones that glow up on the top shelf that are beautiful both in daylight and with UV. And this piece here is just a beautiful purple in the daylight. Or in the real light. Here you see these pieces here. They looked good with the red light too. We'll move on across. There's that Mangano piece of calcite there. And it will phosphoresce orange. And see, that's the pink. And then we changed it to red. Now we've got it orange again. Boom. And here is a real nice piece of calcite that has like little galaxies in it. That came from the crystal mine. Pretty rare. There's another piece. Now look at this little guy over here. He's beautiful. Beautiful piece. And going back up and get a shot of all of them again. This is another one of the things I do. This is one of my passions, one of my hobbies. Studied them all my life, that I just really enjoy them. They're my friends. And you kind of get an idea. I like a stone no bigger than your fist, because I have to pack these up. This whole cabinet is on wheels, so I can wheel it into the airlock or out of the airlock. And I sometimes bring a group of kids or teenagers or something in here and show them and give them a little demonstration that's probably a little more involved, more detailed than what I'm doing now. So anyway, just wanted to show you these. And of course we had to shoot this at night. You can't see them in the day. If there's any kind of light on in here whatsoever, the glow effect isn't as prevalent. So anyway, we're winding it down, and that's the end of this video. Maybe there's going to be some more, I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed it, and hope you've had fun with all these, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.